Good evening and wonderful good people out there. Now, today's episode is dedicated to those people who have lost their lives and friends through an accident. Now, 10 years ago, a group of young students were coming from all the way from a tournament, football tournament, to return back to school. And unfortunately, they fell into 2 road accidents. And one of their stars, a goalkeeper, didn't survive with a lot of injuries. Today, he's here to give us that story and how we survived that accident. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Edmond.
Tell us, let's go and just, I want to know, remind us about your accident scene.
Thank you very much for that question. It was a Black Friday 10 years back in 2006. On our way back to Kampala, we had 2 accidents in a space of 20 minutes.
The dramas?
Yeah, 20 minutes. We got the first one, and after 10 minutes, we got a second one. That's how I got knocked.
And you were a young guy at this peak.
In fact, I started seeing myself as the future Denison Young of this country.
Wow.
Yeah.
We missed you.
Indeed.
So what went through your mind after that accident, especially the second one?
Actually, I thought that maybe, at first I thought maybe someone is against us, someone is maybe breaching us. And then after the accident, I dropped interest in studies.
But let's first go behind it a bit.
Yes.
You said you had 2 accidents in less than 20 minutes.
Yes.
So what happened? The first accident, you survived the first accident?
I survived the first accident.
Without any major...
Without anything on my body.
On your body?
Yes.
And the group of students, your colleagues?
Actually, there were only 2 girls who had sustained minor injuries.
In the first accident?
In the first accident.
And then in the second? How did it happen in the first place?
Actually, as a drunkard, I call him drunkard, a drunkard driver who was carrying flour to Jinja lost control and then turned onto the side where most of the students were standing. Yes.
And how the impact, none of the students really died?
No one died.
The major casualties, how many were they?
We were 3.
Okay.
Yes, with me sustaining the major.
The major one.
But there is also something about that. 3 days later, another accident occurred in that very place, and it was a coaster carrying 40 plus people. It's only 1 person who survived in that very place.
Which
3
place,
days.
Which place is that?
Lugazi.
Oh, Lugazi,
Yes.
Mavira area.
Yeah.
Now, you have gotten this accident.
Yes.
You have been taken to the hospital.
Yes, yes.
Give us that experience at the hospital.
Actually, from Kaolo, we went to Mulago, Mulago to Lubaga. But then, by then, in the whole country, there were only 5 doctors who could handle my case. And the 3 were out of the country. 1 was attending, 1 was in Jinja, and then the 5th one was attending somebody's wedding, actually his daughter's wedding.
Understandably.
And he had even retired from Mulago, so we had to shift it to Lubaga Hospital.
To give you that expertise.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me, you were in this hospital bed.
Yes.
You were being moved from one hospital to another. What is in your mind? What are you thinking really?
Actually, I was just reflecting on the life I had before the accident. And so many questions were now coming. Will the public accept me the way they used to accept me? Yeah, those were some of the things that I was really reflecting.
Now, I want also to know that most painful experience.
That was during the second operation because I was operated 4 times.
4 times?
4 times. But during the second operation, when the doctor came in, Dr. Kaja, when he came in, he was like, I'm going to take you back for the second operation. And in this operation, we are going to insert metals, 4 of them, in your body. That is the only time I saw myself crying. I did not even cry at the scene, but I just couldn't hold my tears back.
And in here, we still have metals.
Actually, the metals are here.
Oh, here?
Yes.
So the accident happened in this area?
Yes.
Goodness me. And you were in the hospital?
Yes.
For over how long are you in the hospital?
I was there for 3 months.
In the hospital?
Yes.
And then the post-recovery?
1 year.
1 year?
1 year, the whole of 2007.
You were not doing anything, just recovery?
Yes. Apart from eating, I was just eating.
And you earlier mentioned to me that you lost education at that period.
Yeah, I remember when the director came to the hospital, he told me, son, we are waiting for you. But inside me, I was like, no, I'm not going back to school. Because I couldn't imagine sitting in a class of able-bodied guys.
And now disabled.
Yes.
Now, tell me about the director. So the school that you are playing for, you were schooling in, really supported you?
Yeah, the school supported me and even other victims, because I remember the school footed the bill because each metal costed 0.5 M and we needed 4 metals. So the school had to come in and support you. And
they supported you 100%?
Yes.
Wow, goodness me.
Even they helped in footing the part of the hospital bills.
Wow, that's
because it is expensive.
Especially
when you go to Lubaga Hospital. Yeah.
Now tell me, you were seated there, disabled.
Yes.
And yet you knew you were a talented person.
Yeah.
How does it feel deep down in your mind?
Psychologically, it hurts. Because at the time I used to get dreams when I'm in the field trying to dribble around. Yeah.
And now you a graduate.
Yes, I graduated in January.
And I want to know, more importantly,
yes,
you said you had lost that education focus. Now, why the change now?
Okay. During the first commemoration of that accident, I was called to be part of the gathering at school. So the love the students showed me
for that ceremony
motivated me to go back and join them, and we call on the struggle.
So you went back to
yes,
this school?
Yes.
That
to mark 1 year.
After 1 year?
Yes.
These students showed you a lot of love.
The way they welcomed me.
They empathized with you.
Yes.
You were a hero still in their eyes.
In fact.
And then they made you made to realize that you belong in that place.
Yes, and actually when I went back home, as I was sleeping, I had like a voice telling me, you have to go back to school. You have to go back to school. Then the next day I called Dad. I told him I must go back to school. He couldn't believe. He couldn't believe because it's the same Lawrence who had told him, I'm not going back to school.
Viewers, we are going to go for a commercial break. And when we be back, Lawrence will tell us more about his moving story. Thank you for staying tuned to 30 Minutes with Edmond Safali. Earlier on, Lawrence, a young gentleman at his peak, fell into a road accident and is here with us to pick up the pieces of what actually happened to him so we can learn from him. Now, Lawrence.
Yes, please.
You were able 10 years ago.
Yes.
And now disabled.
Yes.
What lessons do you have here?
One, how to live with PWDs, people with disability. I used to think they are not even in existence, not until I became part of them. So I've tried living, I've tried to learn how to live amongst them. Then of course I've generated a new definition for the term disability. And if you asked me to define it, I would simply say this is a ticket which is not signed.
Well, repeat that one more time.
It's a ticket which is not signed. Meanwhile, you have your ticket, but it only lacks someone's signature. So the moment someone appends his signature on it, trust me, you will be this side. You will be in the disability fraternity.
Now, as a person with disabilities,
yes, please.
What are the challenges that you go through in everyday life?
I would say discrimination from the public. The public is not yet aware of our existence. You'll find someone pointing at someone who is crawling, who is visually challenged. So we need to inform the public or sensitize the public that we are not different from them. What you can do, I can also do it. We only need support from the able community. Yes.
You earlier on mentioned to me that you were shown great length of love in your high school.
Even at the university.
Yes, that's what I was going to. Now you you progress to the university.
Yes, on government. By the way, I read my books.
Wow, that's good.
Yes.
Did that love wither? Did it flutter? Did it continue blossoming?
Actually, because I remember we were only two guys from our school who joined Mackay University, and we were doing different courses. But I got new friends, the likes of Dale, Madidi. These guys proved to be so friendly to Team Lawrence, and they made me feel at home. Yes.
And you graduated finally in January?
Finally, I graduated, not with the first class, but I was close.
So you graduated with flying colors?
In fact, I was an academic genius in that class.
Wow, that's good.
Yes.
Now tell me the feeling after graduation, especially after the road accident, especially after you think that enough is enough for education. Tell me that feeling.
To someone who has graduated and is working, you may be having a reason to smile from ear to ear. But for someone who is not yet working, who is still idle but orderly, you may not rejoice at length. Yes.
You talk like a politician.
In fact, I am. I'm not a politician, I'm a leader.
You're a leader?
Yes, yes.
So you have political ambitions?
I do. Because right from high school, I've been in leadership positions, even at campus. I represented the PWDs in the 80th Guild. Yeah.
Well.
And my ambitions, of course, are still pending.
And finally,
yes,
I would like you, I'm being told that you offered mentorship at the university.
Yes.
Tell me about that in a very short space of time.
Okay. I was in third year. Then one lecturer called Dr. Grace Mire Chibanja called me, and then she was like, Lawrence, I want you to go back and mentor those students in year 2. I didn't know that I was that instrumental to the public, not until the doctor called me. So I went, I did a nice job. She appreciated, and I know she's one of the happiest creatures outside there. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we hope we invite you one more time when you've gotten a job.
Okay.
A pleasure. Now, you have heard Lawrence's moving story. He teaches us one thing, that if the going gets tough, you have to just keep on moving. If you are going through hell, keep going, like Abraham Lincoln once said. And this guy was so passionate in whatever he's doing. He might have lost some focus at one particular time, at that most painful point of his life. But he, at that moment, when he believed that he would be bouncing back, he did bounce back. And today, he's a victorious young man, graduate, or those still looking for a job. But what we are trying to show you is that being disabled does not necessarily mean that you don't have the ability to perform jobs. This guy has shown us that he has got the talent, he has got the passion, and he has the skill to offer the needed match skills that we need from our society. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Edmond Safali, and of course Urban TV, like our pages on Facebook and the Edmond Safali team. Of course, you've got to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Urban TV and the Edmond Safali. Till next time, we meet again.